20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes.
Is there anybody out there that wants to roll? And is there anybody out there that wants to boogie? Tonight, live from the Apollo, Glasgow.
Well, if you're looking for trouble, I'm the man to see. If you're looking for satisfaction, it's satisfaction guaranteed. I'm as cool as a body on ice. Hotter than the rolling dice. Send you to heaven, or take you to hell. I ain't fooling, can't you tell? I'm a live one.
Welcome to Glasgow Apollo Live with Scott and Andy.
Hello and welcome to the Glasgow Apollo Live. It's our 30th show. Welcome. My name's Scott MacArthur.
And my name is Andy Muir. Good
30
evening.
shows, mate. 30 shows. How did that happen?
Well, just ploughed on.
Fantastic. I think it's really funny. I can't believe it. But so welcome everybody. An interesting show for you tonight. Two firsts, but we'll tell you about those later on. As always, if it's your first time on the show, please bang something into the chat, whether you're on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, or God knows what else there is these days. There's so many different channels. And put your name and where you're tuning in from in there. That'd be great. Be nice to say hello. Now, Andy, I'm not sure the Facebook chat's working already tonight. I can just put a couple of things in the chat and they're not coming up on my... can you see them? I said, good evening, Glasgow Apollo Choir. Can you see that in the restream thing? Looks like a no.
Yes, I can see.
Okay. Oh, you can see it. If you can see it, that's good. It must just be mine. So welcome, everybody. What have you been up to this week, mate?
Nothing. Been raining here. I know it doesn't mean much to the Scotland people, but it's rubbish here. Foggy, rainy, coldish. Although I'm still wearing shorts. That doesn't matter.
So Sydney's not always as nice weather as we hear it is it?
I know. Oh, and yeah, and we're in a wee bit of a lockdown, so...
Fine.
Fine.
I've been...
It's a mini lockdown. Lockdown light, they call it.
Oh, is it? Oh, dear. Well,
That's the way people are treating it.
I'm not quite sure what's going on here anymore. It's just a nonsense. But they have given us dates, mate, where we're supposed to be coming out of this, but it's difficult to know if you're coming or you're going. Well, have you been listening to good music this week? Or any bad music?
I've been listening to a wee bit. Listening to a bit of blues.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Some Muddy Waters.
Oh, my goodness.
Aussie guy called Nathan Cavalieri. He's
I mentioned that before,
Yeah, young guy, really good. I watch him on Twitch. I watch him on Twitch. On Twitch, that other streaming platform. Twitch. Yeah. He's very good.
Very good.
I don't know how he's so creative in the morning.
Wow.
Like he gets up about the same time as here and then as now, and does plays guitar and records records. And
amazing.
Good guy. I like him.
Cool.
Like him. Yeah.
I've
blues mostly.
Right. Can't go wrong with a bit of blues, mate. I've dived into this. I went all mega prog again this week. I've been listening to Gentle Giant and all their reissues that Steve Wilson, the artist formerly known as Steve Wilson, has produced. Really interesting, actually. I'd never really... I don't know if you ever listened to them, but did they play the Apollo, Gentle Giant? I think they did, didn't they? Or Clouds, maybe. But interesting band. I mean, if you're into prog folks and you've never heard Gentle Giant, I imagine a lot of you will have done, actually, given the crowd that we have in here. But really interesting. It's difficult to categorise them. They're quite... the vocals are quite I'm tempted to say barbershop, but they're not barbershop. It's all those multi-layer harmonies they use. A bit like, I guess, a bit like the Beach Boys, but not really. You know, really interesting. Really, I've really enjoyed them. But
they played on the 11th of December, 1974.
There you go. Yeah, well, they never really made a commercial success, not in their early days. But one of the guy's sons now running their estate, and they're doing. I mean, these reissues with Steve Wilson. Obviously, Steve Wilson doing them means that people buy them. And I quite like them. There's a few wee sort of twists with folk and
someone says on the chat, medieval-esque.
Aye, that's fairly accurate. Aye, a bit baroque. They're really only in some sort of in the movement. Some of the movements there are bits of that. But yeah, very interesting, and I've really enjoyed it. Actually, it's been quite an adventure for me. It's unusual that I open up a can of worms like that. Same thing happened to me about 10 years ago with Camel, and I've liked them ever since, you know. But anyway, before I better stop prattling on about Gentle Giant, we better go on with the show. So hi everybody, and thanks for the many happy returns. It's our 30th show tonight, as I said earlier, and there's quite a lot of folk with Facebook users coming on here. I wonder if the little widget's not working tonight. Let me just I'll put it up anyway, just in case. If you're tuning in from the Facebook group, which most of you do, if you go right to the top of the Facebook group at the moment, there's one of the announcements, which is about tonight. We'll be on in an hour. And in there, it actually says to you, if you click on this link, your name will come up in the chat. Because what happens at the moment, your name just comes up like that. You know, Facebook user, good evening, everyone. Happy 30th. We'd like to know who you are. Andy can have a look while I'm prattling, and I can look while he's prattling, but it's just helpful. And here's our friend John. Hi, John. And he's saying it's his 74th birthday today. Many happy returns, mate. My goodness. Still feel like a 21-year-old. What must be this show that keeps me young? Aye, right. It's not in the early days, but one of the guys' son. Oh, Andy's hit the wrong button. There you go. Good evening, gents et al. Hello. Another Facebook user. Hello again, guys. Hello. And someone saying, I do like Gentle Giant. See, I'm not alone. There you go. But I am a Gentle Giant, almost virgin, so I can't say much about it. A bit like Griffin. What must be this show that keeps me young? Aye, right. Andy, what are you doing, man? Andy, I'm going to stop talking until you sort yourself out. Good. And somebody's saying, hi, Scandi. Hello, nice to see you. And then finally, happy 30th from John. We share a birthday, John. There you go. So tonight's show, well, it's a weird night, isn't it, mate? When you look at the gigs that were on this week. Really odd. Weird. It's we'll talk about that in a minute, but I think it's quite interesting to have a look at that. Actually, if I can find the right button to press, I'll press it. So what happened this week then?
Nothing. No, this week. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 headline gigs.
Incredible.
Crazy. Yeah. But I don't know the cause of this. Maybe people were on holiday.
Yes.
I did have a bit of a hypothesis. Was it thesis? That I don't know if Greens or the Apollo, the people who ran Greens anyway, they were sort of show people.
Right, yes.
They were sort of show people. And the Glasgow Fair was on about that time. It was on in June, July. So they used to go, I don't know if the Greens did this, but this was just me thinking that maybe the people from the shows, a lot of people came from the shows, came up to Glasgow and came around, and you know, it was just like a big fair. It was actually a big fair, and I don't know if they sort of shut down the Apollo and went on their holidays.
On their holidays, it could have been that. Quite possible. Yeah. Quite possible.
They just said, "Nah, we're going to go on holiday for the month." Yeah, I don't know. Just a thought I had. I thought Greens people, fair people, Glasgow Fair, let's go on holiday. But
the thing is,
There's no gigs at all
In the
from the
80s?
Playhouse. Yeah, and as
Nothing at all.
one of our contributors, Ian Bamford, mentioned that this is the first time I've seen all weekend gigs.
Yes.
Astonishing fact.
Yes.
But yes, it was a bit odd. Yeah. Right, so we get through them. Yeah. Okay.
Let's have a look.
Yeah. So first up, Uriah Heep and the Heavy Metal Kids, and I listened to Uriah Heep last night, and this tour was they were touring Return to Fantasy album, which I did listen. I didn't listen to the album, but I listened to some. It was a gig from that year. Maybe it was like a couple of months after this Apollo gig, and it was pretty good, very good. I enjoyed it, and but what I enjoyed more was the support band. I listened to their album. Anvil something.
Anvil Chorus.
Yeah, which was a bit of a revelation to me because I never really heard. I've only heard vaguely heard of them from Gary Holton being the singer and being in Alfie Design Pet, and I knew he was in a band and I maybe saw a wee clip of them, but listening to their album, Anvil Chorus, there's such a diversity of tracks. It's like punky ones and sort of maybe just straight out rock songs. But there's a song called "The Cops Are Coming," and I don't know if he was channeling Alex Harvey in that song, but if he wasn't, it was very coincidental because it was just quite like his delivery's like Alex Harvey. It was very good. Right. Good. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. So that's the Heavy Metal Kids on that.
He was one of the guys that got auditioned for AC/DC, wasn't he?
Yeah, I read that, but there was probably 30, 40 people auditioning for that.
Yeah, possibly.
And he I don't know if he was very much I'm not saying Brian Johnson's not his own man, but Brian Johnson's a nice guy. I don't know if Gary Holden was his own man, and he probably would have stood up to young Malcolm
and Angus.
He probably said,
There was one thing in the media about him, mate, that said that because of Gary Holton's volatile nature, the band just kept getting into trouble at various gigs.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and he actually broke his leg on one of the American tours.
Yeah.
And the guy, the boy in the band, the keyboard player, stroke vocalist, Danny, he departed and then went off to join, believe it or not, UFO. Yeah, and then they got dropped, and so things just really did fall apart. And of course, he died. He died of was it a drug overdose? Was it, or was it booze, or was it a bit of both? Or
bit of both. Morphine and drinking, so suppressed breath, no doubt, and asphyxiated.
Yeah.
Good
boy. Good boy.
But he was. I wasn't sure who was the singer. I couldn't. When I was listening to the album, it sounded like there was two different kinds. There was two singers. So what you said about keyboard player and vocalist might make sense because I wasn't. It was just an album playing, so I couldn't tell who was doing what. But very good album, and he probably were that album was pretty good too because they what's his name, John Wetton, joined them then. That's a new iteration, and that's them in the past. Yes.
Yeah. I have to confess, I never really got Uriah Heep. They
were classic British rock bands. Look, singer, keyboard player, Hammond organ-y. There's a lot of Hammond organ there. Yeah. A bit reminiscent of, dare I say, Deep Purple, but all bands in the 70s, rock bands with a Hammond organ. Would be.
And I like. Do you remember? They had that the song that Fastway did. The Easy Living was a good song.
Oh yeah, that's a good song.
And I love the Wizard and Stealing and those songs. You know, some of the
Stealing,
best
yeah.
songs, good songs.
Yeah. When I was watching that live concert, they played Stealing, and I was like, oh, that's a belter.
That's a good song. That, yeah, it's a good song. Good song.
Okay, so let's move on. We are up to the second gig this week.
We're not in a rush.
Yeah, ELO. Yeah, so this ELO album, I wasn't sure because I was looking at their Wikipedia page, and it was nuts the amount of albums they did. I think they were doing one album, and then they were touring it, and then this album, I think this one, I'm not sure, but I got a bit confused about the timelines. Like this album was a new world. No, hold on. There's a new world. Yeah, a new world. Because it's a bit weird the way they said this is a platinum selling a new world record. Anyway, yeah, a new world record. A new world record. I'm getting confused now. Well, that was sort of out about the time they were either touring or after this gig, and that would have been that. It would have been that would have been a good gig because they'd like Living Thing, Telephone Line, and all that.
Yeah,
and they're a good band, good rock band.
Yeah,
I loved it when I was reading the Wikipedia page, and it said someone left and they got someone left the cello roll, and then they got a new cello player. And I was like, oh man, there's not many rock bands you see that have a replacement celloist coming in. Yeah. Unless it's ELO.
Yeah, I find them. I like my one or two of their albums, But I went to see. I didn't go and see them. I went to see it because I wouldn't pay money to go and see them in a stadium. Not my type of thing. But I went to see one of the ELO tribute acts, and I got to about 3 songs, and I couldn't tell the difference between the songs. I just left. It might just be me, of course, but I just couldn't tell the difference. It was like, they've played that song already. The same sort of vibe. Yeah. I know there's folk love them. I
they're great. They're really good. I mean, at the time when you don't remember hearing the song, but then if you hear the song, you know all the words. You're like, how did that happen? What? How do I know this song? I watched it once on Top of the Pops, and they just went record.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I didn't look up any Steve Gibbons band, but I did. They are. Oh, did I? I can't remember. They're like they're a pub rock band.
Yeah.
And I watched a couple of things. I think they were on Ogre Whistle Test. I watched a couple of tracks from that. I think a good band, solid rock band.
Absolutely. There was a brilliant quote I saw on the one of the music channels, and it said that Steve Gibbons was cooler than the Fawns on Ice.
Whoa, that is cool.
I thought it was a really good line. I loved it. Cooler than the Fawns on Ice. Brilliant.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just a name that crops up a lot in support.
He does. Yeah, he does.
So maybe they were just hanging around waiting for when they were always available.
Yes.
We'll just get them up because they're good. That's good. They were a good solid rock band. Okay, moving on to Saturday, the 1st of July, 1978. July 78. Is that when the World Cup was on?
I think it was.
Yeah. All right. I was in Strathclyde Park. A scout camp.
Okay.
Yeah. So I missed that gig. Sorry, UFO. It's my patronage. Look at those young fellas there. Pete Way,
exactly. looking
mad. He's not wearing his polka dot though.
No, he's not. Yeah.
And Schenker, what age was he there? He must have been, 20, 22, 20 something.
Just a boy.
Yeah, young fella. Oh, good lads. Wow. So they were touring on their Obsession album. I think this was the last tour that Michael Schenker did with them. And they came. Was it them that came back? No, it wasn't them. I was thinking about you're right. They came back in November of that year of '75. But yeah, UFO, good rock band. Doctor, I listened to that and Lights Out as well last night just to get me in the mood for sleep.
They're absolutely fantastic. They're one of these bands that I just love them.
Yeah, I saw them at the Barrowlands many years ago with Atomic Tommy M on the guitar. Right. Yeah, very good. They were good. Very good band. I think they're finishing up now, retiring. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Phil Moog must be 70, over 70.
Well over, I would have said. Yeah.
Yeah. And Marseille, sorry, Marseille fans, I haven't looked you up because every time I look you up, I get confused with the new wave of British heavy metal Marseille. I'm not sure if it's the same band, but it might be, it might not be. And yeah, they were a good band too, I reckon, because
they were all right actually. Yeah, I liked them.
They did a fair few support slots of rock bands around that time too. Yeah, if I had any brains, I would have said they played the Apollo like 7 times, but I can't remember. I didn't do that much research. Sorry, guys.
No.
And now moving on to 1979, Friday, June the 29th, Sham 69 and the Valves. Now, I didn't know much about Sham 69. I still don't know much about Sham 69, but I did watch about 20 minutes of a documentary on them last night. And man, that Jimmy Pursey.
Yeah, he's a dude.
He's quite a dude, actually. Quite a dude. He's not just a shouty singer. He actually put some thought, like he did put thought into what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the documentary, you can have a look at the documentary. It's online on YouTube. Half an hour, excellent, you know. And he's standing up for himself and saying that he's not a punk rocker. He's actually thinking, and he's not sort of being a nihilist and just being anarchistic.
Yes.
He's actually standing up for something, and he's standing up like that. So he goes, I wrote The Kids Are United because I wanted the kids of my area to stand up and be strong together.
Yeah.
And give them something to believe in. And he said the newspapers just said, it's just a football song, just for people to shout out at the football. But he said, no, it wasn't. It was for the kids. And like Hersham, Hersham Boys that we sung.
Hurry Up Harry.
Hurry Up Harry. Yeah.
Yeah, good song.
Good song. I mean, you look back, like said this before, look back at the time, I was like, oh man, they're just punk rockers. What did I know? It was 1979. What was that? 12? No idea. Yeah, no idea. And but now look back on it, you go, yeah, there is definite value to what he was saying and what he believed in and what they did as a sort of thing to gather around at that time. The Valves fans, did not look them up, and probably should have, but sorry.
I've got a few. I remember hearing stories about them. They played at various little festival-y type things. You know, they played at sort of anti-anarchist and anti-Nazi gigs, and I think they played it in Craigmillar, and they played in the Meadows. I think they did one of the gigs, and there's a mate of mine. There's a mate of mine. This might be complete nonsense, but a mate of mine said that he went to see the Clash in Edinburgh. They're an Edinburgh band, I think, and but the Clash never turned up. And it was a gig in the Meadows or somewhere in Edinburgh. I can't remember the detail, but apparently the Valves were there and they rocked it. They did really well, you know. But they never really took off, which is a shame for them. Didn't sound very punky to me either. But there's another thing I found. It was just yesterday when I was having a wee look for that picture there, and apparently there was one gig that's quite famous. It was one of the London gigs, and somebody shouted out to the band, "You bunch of sexist pigs," and the singer immediately came back and said, "We're not sexist, we just like shagging women." So that's gone down in the history of the Valves, but
maybe it was sexy pig.
Maybe, mate. So, but
Maybe not.
I thought that was quite funny. So
That's
who's
good.
next?
Yeah. Who's next? Dave Edmunds' Rockpile. Now,
Yeah.
I watched a concert from about, was it 2 weeks? 2 weeks, 2 weeks or 2 months after this gig at the Apollo. Oh, what a good band they are. Great band.
Aye. Lots of good songs.
Yeah. But you can tell their influences. Chuck Berry and the Everly Brothers. Yeah, really good though. I advise you, if you haven't heard of them, go and seek them out, because they are really good. Really good band.
Good band. I kind of know the singles, mate. I don't. Again, they're one of these bands that I think I stuck them in that.
They were a bit funny because they sort of recorded albums. Like the album would be. Well, it's difficult to tell who was the singer and who was.
Aye.
Like, was this a Dave Edmunds led album, or was this I've forgotten his name. What's his name? That guy, Nick Lowe. Yeah, Nick Lowe. Yeah, was it his album or his album? Yeah, good album, good band though. Drummer, great drummer. I think he was called. Oh, I don't know his name. Sorry. And the guitarist was called Billy Bremner. So,
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I remember that. I was like, oh, Billy Bremner. What? Billy Bremner played guitar in Rockpile? Yeah. Oh, good. But yeah, good band. Investigate them. I think I will, because they are a great band. Yeah. This is
the bit I can imagine folk are noticing. Both of us are getting increasingly curious about a lot of this music. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Over the last 30 weeks, it's been like, I think if you look back at the early shows, it's like, I don't like them. I've never heard of them, or I'm not sure about them. But now every week now, I think we're both finding that we're, I don't know if this is how you feel, but I certainly think we're both getting into these bands now with an open mind, rather than
definitely with Sham 69 there. I was like, I don't know them. I'll have a look. I was like,
they're a good outfit. Yeah, they're a proper good outfit.
Yeah, that guy's got something to say, and he's saying it in a good way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a good wee documentary. Have a seek it out on YouTube.
Have a look for that, mate. We've got, that slightly longer track that we're playing today. Maybe look up that and we can share it with everybody, because it's. I'd like to watch that, to be honest. Is it on the YouTubes?
Or the documentary? Yeah. It's on YouTube.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So just before we move on, then there's a couple bits and pieces come in. Forgive me, everybody. My machine is not showing me your names, but I know this is Cheryl. Sham 69. Hurry up, hairy camel. That's what we sung anyway. I like it. That's excellent. ELO were brilliant at the time. Never saw them live though. Yeah. I don't know about that. You're getting some abuse here. Andy Man, just no. Don't know who that's from. What did you say that annoyed somebody?
That sounds like James Mark.
It could be. And look at this.
Yes, it was.
Good to let off steam. Brilliant. I bet they were as well. They had a reunion recently, the Valves. So they're still kicking about, doing stuff. And Raymond's saying, see, the names are coming through now. This is weird. Seen UFO on that tour, and they were absolutely brilliant. I mean, I'd love to have seen them on that tour, mainly because of Schenker. I've seen Schenker a few times, but I'd love to have seen him with you. I've never seen. I saw him walking on the stage at Edinburgh doing the encores, doing I think it was Doctor and Love to Love or something. But it was amazing. But I've never saw him with proper when he was in UFO. And Andy, correct. It was James. There you go. Look. So, all right. So let's have a wee look at what's been happening on the socials. Well, mate, what's been occurring, as they say in that well-known English TV drama
From Wales.
from Wales? Oh dear! Imagine if I said that about Scotland, I'd get lynched. So I'm sorry, any Welsh people.
You'd be,
Yes.
you'd be. What's occurring? Okay, we got this week where there was. Are these budgies too loud for you?
Can't hear them.
All
Can
right.
only just hear them. It's rather sweet, actually. I quite like it.
This week, total members was 5,000. No, I did it again. 9,578. Which is
10,000
great.
by the end of the year. 10,000 by the end of the year.
10,000, I think. So there was maybe possibly 50 new members this week. I know I was approving more people this week, which is great. Thanks very much for
Amazing.
finding us or sharing us. That's great. And all your memories help everyone else remember stuff, because we can't remember anything. But it's great that you are, and thanks very much. There was 6,748 active members, which is a fair whack of people on the site, on the page there, looking up stuff. I could see it going up and up and up, which is great. I could probably tell you the most popular day, maybe Friday afternoon. There was 30 posts. A few of them was Derek McAdam, and one of them was a nice message from Willie Potts, because he had a bit of a heart attack last week.
Yeah.
Bit of a heart attack. I hope he's okay. Haven't heard anything back from him on the site, but he had a bit of a scare and he was quite seriously ill, but I think he is on the mend and off the fags. Stay off the fags, mate.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not good for you. Stating the obvious there. They're not good for you. What am I doing? Okay, so I'll do the rundown of the top 5 active members. Not active, but most replied to members.
It's been 30 weeks, mate.
What?
It's been 30 weeks. Can you not get your, you need to have your you need to be on message now. It's 30 weeks down.
Mate, the dog took my homework. What? Sorry, miss. Jesus. My alarm clock didn't go off. Right. Number 5, Bon Scott. Many hits on his comment. Number 4, William McGachen. There's a lot of pictures that he was putting up earlier in the month. They're still getting a lot of comments. Paul the Shoes Stanley.
Yeah.
Or is it the Boots? I think the Boots.
The Boots is probably better. I think I got that wrong last week. Yeah, it's the Boots.
Paul the Boots Stanley. There's a few things here. William Potts, as I mentioned. Best wishes to him again. And number 1, Derek McAdam, because he posts a lot of stuff, because he's been at a lot of gigs, Derek. And the gig, did we talk about that last week, about the all his tickets on the desk? Yeah, we did.
Unbelievable. I don't think we did, actually. But
right.
The thing is it's just ridiculous. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, and it cost 2 farthings in 167. Was he? Did you say 160?
It was less than 200 quid, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wonder what it would be.
Unbelievable.
What do they call it when they say for inflation? Adjusted for inflation. I wonder what it would be.
Well, I still don't think it would be quite what it is. But it's a different time. It's totally different. I mean, there's no comparison.
I mean, look. Put it up again, mate. Put it up again. I mean, I wasn't just going up to the screen. I mean, look who you went to see.
I know.
Quite incredible. Ted Nugent, Bad Company. Derek, mate. He got to see Bad Company. That's not fair.
The original
Journey. Oh, I've seen lots of people. And that was like a $5 it cost. Yeah.
So the challenge is, if you can beat him, if you can beat Derek, he's really annoying, Derek, because he's seen so many bands. He's also our top
And
man.
he remembers it.
Come on, and he remembers them. If you've seen more than him, get your tickets on, guys, because it's very annoying, but it's absolutely fantastic. I just think it's amazing. Anyway, sorry, mate, interrupted you. Sorry.
That's okay. But that's So Derek, number one again. That's good. But like I'm saying, there's no competition here.
No, we need to get him a wee statue.
Yeah. That'd be nice. Yeah, that would be good. Cool. But now he's a site expert, so he can
I saw that.
Answer any questions.
Is it you that tweaks that? Because I wouldn't know how to do that. Is it you that does that?
I did. I gave him that because I thought,
a wee badge.
Well, a wee badge. It's a wee badge. Yeah.
But, so there was a couple of things I wanted to go back to, if you don't mind, mate, that came up on the socials that I thought were worthy of mentioning. This one in particular, and it was a man again, but the response was amazing. We had these sort of this is from 1978, just before they were about to shut the Apollo to make it into a bloody bingo hall. Yeah. UFO weirdly were the last rock band to play, and I'd never seen that before. You know that ticket there, the Live on Stage Tomorrow. I'd never seen that before. It's really quite cool.
That would be in the paper though.
Probably. But it's excellent. I've never seen it, and there's a good cut in there. And then we've got Yard Lee posing with one of those amazing shirts that we sell. Limited stock now, mate. We're almost done. We've finally got to the end of that line, so I'm probably going to put some ends on the Facebook group.
Now, what was the lady? The lady, is it Nan Guy?
Oh, aye, yeah.
What's her name? First name?
I've forgotten.
Wasn't she involved in the petition?
There was. We need to have a word with those two ladies and see if we can get.
But I saw that she posted that she was at that gig, so maybe she went to that. I wonder if she went to that gig because she thought it would be the last gig. Yeah. Well, I wonder how she was feeling at that gig. That would have been weird.
Be really weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if
she would have gone. I don't know if she'd have gone to see Leo Sayer and Christian. Maybe because they were the last gigs.
Yeah, they were.
Before that, before it got going to get closed down for bingo, but yeah,
we made it through. But there was one of the guys, Callum McRae. Really made me laugh. I don't know if you saw it. He was responding to all these wonderful tickets, and he said, "Mine were thrown to the dump by my ex-wife." Loads of great memories, though. She also threw out my Gibson Les Paul Sunburst and a
up.
Yeah, and a Vox. Guess well, a Vox semi-acoustic guitar.
Mate, I'm sorry for you lost. You lost.
And he said, but Callum's perfect ending was, "God, I miss her. She was a lovely guitar." Callum, if you're there, mate, that was top notch. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And the other thing that came up, I don't know if you saw it, but we've had one of these before, but this is only certainly the second or the third one. I remember seeing this was from Bill Morton, and it was obviously the scam that Frank Lynch has told me repeatedly never happened. I must send him some of these tickets. This was the bouncer scam that went on, and there's people in the comments. I don't know if you saw them, mate, but they were talking about Fleetwood Mac and other bands doing the same. And Elizabeth Weir-Riga, who's been on a few times, she said we had one of those stubs for the Eagles, and it only cost us 50 pence. And long-term supporter and listener and supporter of the website, Stefan Wozniak, said, "You were robbed." A man after my own heart with that lot, I'll tell you. God, worst concert I've ever seen that. But there was some other stuff. Tim Peck said that the ELO gig we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
We've had chats about this before, about other bands and their light shows, but Tim said he thought it was the best show he's ever seen. Certainly the best show I can remember. The lasers and stuff were apparently amazing.
Lasers, yeah. Well, not like the Who at Hampden. who had to wait till like 10:30 till the sun went down.
But I just thought that was quite neat, and it did make me giggle a wee bit. I thought it was quite good. I love those. We've said this before, haven't we? But I love those guys that are just coming onto the website and the Facebook group, and they're full of that enthusiasm. It's brilliant. So just another couple of things. There was a lot of stuff, but there was a lot of I was there stuff this week. Quite interesting.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, John Henry. John's a great contributor, and John said. He's done this a few times. He posed the question: do you think the Apollo would have survived if it had been granted an alcohol license? So if you're new on here, one of the weird things about the Apollo was that it did have an alcohol license, but only in its early days before it was the Apollo. And it used to have the weirdest. Do you remember there was a milk bar? And there was all sorts of weird stuff at the Apollo, but it never had, certainly the Apollo never had a license. Folk were pretty well refreshed when they got there. I'd never drank when I was at the Apollo. I was too young. But no, and that there was a good dialogue about that. And folks said, well, I think it was probably a bit knackered. And they'd seen do you know we had 2,500 people watch the documentary last week, Andy?
Wow.
2,500 people watched that documentary that we re-aired. And there's quite a lot of folks said, well, if you look at the state it was in, I don't think it would have taken a few pints to save it. It would have taken a miracle, you know. So, but John, it's a good question.
It had been closed down for a wee while.
It had been shut for a while, yeah.
But it probably wasn't in the best nick when it closed down. Yeah.
And there was another one, final one.
Can you imagine the cost at the time that would have? I mean, that's such a huge building, and it would have cost an absolute fortune to get that fixed.
It would have been bonkers, mate. Bonkers.
If it was now, there would be, National Lottery would have chipped in, probably 50 million.
The thing that's a bit weird now is that size of venue. I mean, there are still, some of those venues around, but that size of venue wouldn't be attracting top class acts anymore because they all play at these bloody great big sheds. Whether they film them or not, and I think that was one of the advantages. But I mean, do you remember the sheds back then? I mean, like Ingolston, I mean, that was dreadful. And so the whole market has changed. So I don't know if the Apollo would have a place now. I don't know if it would fit into the music scene anymore. Because maybe, tell me what you think, folks. If you disagree
I think it would.
I mean, the second tier band, it wouldn't be like what Frank did with the bringing the biggest acts in the world. The Jacksons and Kiss, and the Osmonds, and all that sort of. That would never have happened. It wouldn't happen now.
Well, that's because they didn't have anywhere else to play.
No, exactly. But it's quite cool. So So it was good. It was a good week. I really enjoyed it this week. It was one of these weeks where I actually spent quite a lot of time fiddling about on the website. On the Facebook group this week because there was so much going on that it was quite cool. So thanks again, guys. It's been fantastic. So is that all we have in the socials, mate?
That's all we got.
Right.
Thanks very much for your contributions. That's it.
It's been fantastic. And so next up, we'll just have a wee reminder of one of the things we're trying to do. Well, after an avalanche of 2 videos in the last month, things have dried up a wee bit. So I just want to remind you all that, and I'm not going to stop saying this every week. I'm not going to stop it because I think it's really important. If you've got a memory of the Apollo or the Greens, or you've even heard your grandmother and grandfather talking about it when before it was a music venue, pick up your iPhone or your Android and do a little video of your memory. We'd love it. We'd really appreciate it. Now, we've shown a load of them on the show previously. We'd love to see more of them. They're absolutely fantastic. So thanks for those that have contributed already, and we hope to see some more in the future. Now, I'm planning to come up to Glasgow quite soon. I'll let you all know, and what I'll do is I'll plunk myself in one of the rock bars, and you can, if you fancy coming and have a chat, and we can have a drink, but I'll video your memories for you. So even if you're not up to it, you don't fancy it, come and have a chat with me, have a drink. That'll maybe loosen you up a wee bit, and you can come and do it with me. So Andy and I will do it. And I'll get pissed, and you can have your video on the show following that. So there's a few comments here, mate. I'd quite like to cover these. You might need to help me with the names because the stupid blinking thing is not showing. But Derek has just arrived. Hello, Derek. Yeah, we've been talking about you for ages, man. Thanks very much. We were just sharing our amazement at this picture, Derek, and how cool it is. And some of the feedback for it's been amazing, mate. So thanks again for being such a massive supporter to the cause. I'm laughing. Sorry, not this one. This one here. This is Scott's chat up line. Come and I'll make you a video of your Apollo memories, child. No, I'm not going to do that. But anyway, I'm up for that. We'll definitely do that sometime.
Definitely not get anyone like that.
Well, no. And sorry, I can't see your name, but Andy, don't do that. Way up on the screen, a bit scary. Yeah, right. Okay, understood. Let me just make sure. Have we missed anything else? I don't think we. Yeah, somebody saying there about Schenker. Schenker 2 UFO played the Badlands in 1978. Yeah, I remember that. I wish I'd gone to that. I really do wish I'd gone to that. They were one hell of a band. It's one of these things. It's a shame when they retire, but I'm glad Fillmore kept his voice pretty well, though. He didn't. I mean, it went a wee bit, but some that we're going to play later, you can already hear the cracks in the voice, and that was in the 80s. So he did do better than some of them. So, all right. So I think that's about it in terms of the chat. We'll no doubt get some chat in a minute from what we're going to do next. I did say that Andy and I were working on an idea for a new part of the show. Guys, I've not had time to do it this week. It's just been madness. So I've not done it. And so we're not going to tell you what it's about yet. But you probably had a clue from some of the stuff we've been showing you. But we'll leave that to another time. But tonight we've got two pieces of music that we'd like to play for you. And they're really, really different. And they're both firsts for the website. And certainly Andy and I think they're first. Maybe you can know the website, the broadcast. The first one was from the amazing Jack and the team, Stephen McKinley and Phil Osborne over at Rescued Recordings. They just posted this week, and it was by Gordon Giltrap. Now, Andy and I were both familiar with this guy. He's famous for a particular couple of tunes he's done, but I'd never heard the record. Had you heard much of his music, Andy? I don't know if you'd heard much of his music.
I think I've heard Heart Song.
Aye. Yeah, which is the famous one, which is what I'm about to play, actually.
That guitar, that's wacky.
He's an extraordinary guitar player, and this piece, it's Heart Song we're going to play, and the recording, as Jack said on his group, and if you're not a member of Rescued Recordings, get over there and join, folks. It's fantastic. But what he said was, this is a really good recording, and it really is, and it comes from Giltrap's album Perilous Journey, which he recorded in 1977. And it did all right. It was a top 30 album, and the first single was Heart Song, and it did quite well, and it got to number 21 in the charts. This piece of music, and it's quite unusual because it's an instrumental, so it's the first instrumental we've ever played on the show, and it actually ended up being used on the TV series Holiday, and then later on, I knew there was a reason why I knew it, and when I put it on, I went, I know that song, that tune. And actually, he then did another piece of music he was commissioned to do it called The Carnival, and that was the one that was used for Wish You Were Here. So he's got a bit of a theme thing going on here. And he was actually nominated for an Ivor Novello Award for this piece of music. So he didn't quite win it. Elton John, Song for Guy, won it, but it's still a terrific piece of music. It came around. He says in one of I was reading some of his bio on his website, and he said that this song all started really in the late 60s with a song called Starting All Over. It's not a song I'm familiar. I don't know you are, mate. I don't know that song. No. But he lived in London, and he was starting to mess about with different riffs, and that eventually turned into this song, Heart Song. And in the end, he actually got Simon Phillips, who a lot of folk on here will know who that is. He's a terrific drummer, and a guy called John Perry on bass. So this is the song Heart Song. Now, I really like it, actually. It's pretty good, and from all accounts, the Apollo audience, I don't think it was full, but the audience loved the concert. So this is the man Gordon Giltrap playing one of probably his best known song at the Glasgow Apollo. Hope you enjoy this, guys. I think it's really, really quite good. What you like? So,
Glasgow, good night. God bless you.
it's good, wasn't it?
That was,
I like that. I think that's
Yeah.
really good. I think that's really good. Here, John, Birthday Boy John saying that Heart Song by Giltrap, my story about Gordon fucking Giltrap, embarrassing moment in my Radio Clyde studio, is in my autobiography. And as if by magic, I have a copy of said autobiography, and this is what it says. One of our fine music producers was Bob McDowell, who had an expression he frequently used, fucking frightening. Gordon Giltrap of Heart Song fame was in our music studio with me recording an interview. When Bob walked in, unaware who my guest was, he mentioned something about Gordon fucking Giltrap as he came in, so I took the opportunity to introduce them to each other. That's from John's autobiography. It's brilliant. It's called Anne Quirky. It's a great wee read. It's brilliant. Thanks, John, and happy birthday again from us. Say, yeah, that's not bad, is it? What did you think of it? What did you think of it?
It's not my cup of tea, mate, but you know,
No, bit twiddly for you.
It's fine.
Aye.
Fine. It's not offensive. It's fine. But it's 1970s. What?
Yeah. You can hear sort of Leo Coke, all these other guys, you know, these sort of great guitar players that were around.
Yeah.
So no, I thought it was good, and I actually looked up. There was a documentary about him as well, and he's he's not young anymore, but he's sitting there and he can still play that. You know, he's a fantastic, really fantastic.
73.
Yeah, is that what age he is? 73.
Yeah.
He's in good nick. And there's various abuse going on.
I remember him. I'm pretty sure I remember him, but yeah.
Yeah. So
I
the final.
He's got a bit of Iron Maiden on his name there.
What's that? Oh, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
The font. Look at the font.
Aye, it is a bit. Aye, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Maybe that was the influence behind it. But there was actually a comment that the Iron Maiden were influenced by him on one of the websites, which is a bit of a coincidence. I wonder if it was the graphics. I don't think it was the graphics that we're talking about. I'm sure if Liam's on,
I'm just reading here that Nick of My Brain was on one of his albums.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And John's just saying that was an amazing live recording. It sounded like Waitman was on keyboard. Well, it did sound like that, didn't it? The whole recording's good. I've listened to most of it, John, and it's a really super recording. It's excellent. So we're going to change pace, and this is a band that, or a man, I guess, with a band that probably the most feedback we've had from any live recording we've ever played on the show. And Andy and I thought, because there were so few bands this week, that we might not have that much to say. But the show's been going for an hour, Andy. But
so we're not playing this one. We just forget it.
No, I'm determined to play it now. I've got to play it. But so this lot we've had on before from this very show, but this is going to be another Meatloaf song from 1983. Now, this is one of the Donington gigs. This is not Castle Donington. It's one of the ones over in Germany. And Meatloaf went down a storm last time, so we're going to play another track. I actually need to remember to cue it up, Andy. That's the other thing I've not done yet, so I need to cue that up. I'll just do that now. Right, it's cued. I did that so fast, man, so fast. Yeah. But the thing that I don't know if everyone else had appreciated, they probably had, knowing the audience we have on here, but the female singer, now I remember her, but not for her voice. But as you can see, but I was only, pubescent little boy at that point. Katie Mack was her name, and she was from Glasgow, mate. She was from Glasgow. And other members of the band, there was Bob Kulick, who was the older brother of the guy who's in Kiss. Remember Bruce Kulick?
Yep.
Who in Kiss. And the rest of the band was Mark Doyle on guitar, Steve Buslow bass and vocals, Paul Jacobs piano and vocals, and Wells Kelly on drums, and Mr. Meat on the vocal. Now this is one of these tracks that
Mr. Loaf. It's Mr. Loaf.
Yeah, well, yes, Mr. Loaf. And this is one of these tracks that's really, really brutally honest. I think it's the best way to put it. And it's a bit of what Tom Russell said, this is authentic. There's no bullshit in this. So Yeah. So there's a fair bit of crowd reaction and twittering from the man himself on this, but I just thought you'd quite enjoy it. So this is the big man Meatloaf with one of their absolute classics. I hope you enjoy it. This is a 9-minute track. It's the longest track I've ever played on the show. So if you fancy a cup of tea, this is the time to go and get it if you don't like Meatloaf. So we hope you enjoy this.
Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, from Glasgow, Scotland, Miss Katie Mack! Wait 1 second. I want to ask you a question. Have you noticed that she likes to take off her clothes? Do you know how many times she's taken off her clothes in this show? And do you know how much fun the crew has backstage? On behalf of myself and the Neverland Express, ladies and gentlemen of Glasgow, we salute you!
It's not quite done yet. Well, I mean,
You've killed it.
That was good, wasn't it? Wild.
That was good. I was thinking, was I at that gig or not? I couldn't remember.
I was. I know I was at it. There's a good chance you were at it if I was at it, mate.
There's two gigs with them.
Aye.
There was one in 85. Well, it's 3 gigs actually. There's 2. There's one in 85 and one in 83.
Yes.
So I'm not sure if I went to that one.
Yes.
I think I would have.
I missed a wee bit. I'll just put it back on. There's a wee bit here. He was definitely getting pitchy in these days, but I thought he was fantastic. I loved it. That really is the end of it, but it was excellent. I remember the gigs. I remember being blown away by them, and
definitely good show, great show,
great show.
Yeah.
So we hope you enjoyed that, folks. I know a lot of you were at it, so it brings back some memories. And I see Cheryl was singing along as she was typing there, which is nice. So
yeah,
I think that's it. Were you singing as well?
I was going. How do I know these words? Because I used to listen to Bat Out of Hell all the time, and that's why.
Yeah. Still a great album.
Oh yeah, great album.
Great album.
Yeah.
So that's it. Now, there is a chance there won't be a show next week, so we'll have to do a replay. The reason is I'm working away. Believe it or not, I'm not at home for the first time in 18 months. I'm going to be working in Iceland, which is amazing. I've never been to Iceland, so and I'm coming back on Friday. So it depends on the flight. I mean, there's so much stuff going on about COVID, as my dad calls it, that Andy, I'm not sure I'll be able to make it, mate. So we'll just need to try and play it by ear. I should be back by about 6 o'clock. So if I'm back, guys, we'll go ahead. If not, I'll bang Andy and I'll bang on a replay show next week. So forgive me about that. I just can't help it. You've got to make the money these days when you can. So did you enjoy that, mate?
That was good. Good ending, actually.
Good ending. Good show. I thought that was great, and it was nice to see, despite the fact there was so few bands playing this week, back in the 70s this time, it was still a really good show and quite eclectic, which I really like. So thanks very much. Sorry, I thought you were going to say something. I was. So thanks for listening to Glasgow Apollo Live. My name is Scott MacArthur on missionary work in the Cotswolds.
My name is Andy Muir in Sydney.
We should probably do one of those, and his name is Andy Muir. No, maybe not. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. If you fancy some more of this nonsense, we're having our after show Zoom as always. We'll be on there shortly. James is probably already on, starting to think about how he can stalk everybody. There's a danger, folks. Don't let James know where you live, because he will come and visit you. It doesn't matter who you are, he will come and find you and haunt you and everything else. So please don't give him your name and your address out. But great to see you there. We'll be there shortly. And thanks very much for tuning in. Good night.
See you later.
Cheers. Sorry we offended you, James. If you want more, please come and join us.